I want to turn to this story about the Metropolitan Police, who have investigated international money laundering and seized nearly £180 million worth of Bitcoin. The seizure by the Met's Economic Crime Command follows a confiscation of £114 million worth of cryptocurrency in June. The two confiscations were made after intelligence received about the transfer of criminal assets. Joseph Kotrie-Monson is the director of Mary Monson Solicitors in Fleet Street. He's also the editor of the book Cybercrime Law and Practice. Thank you for coming on the programme, Joseph. What do we think was the crimes, the money laundering behind this seizure?
Good evening, Tom. Well, information is thin on the ground with regard to what the underlying offences were. But it's interesting that you should zero straight in on that, Tom, because, of course, make no mistake, money laundering, as it's emerging through the cryptocurrency I was going to say markets, but really merry-go-round or scam is probably a better word when you're talking about that part of the activity. But this is not just a bit of tax avoidance or moving money around, in a bit of a murky way. We are generally talking about funds associated with crimes of genuine human misery, terrorism, fraud, people trafficking, prostitution, and the fact is that can be moved around nowadays in the context of apps using kind of wallet technology as easily as sending an email, Tom.
So this I don't understand Bitcoin in the sense that I don't understand what its value is really, other than inflated by people saying how good it is. That if you just pump it up, to use that phrase, it will keep going up to before people start to withdraw because they think they've taken enough. But it is ripe for to be exploited in a criminal way. That's
right. And mathematical philosophers such as the fabled and unidentified creator of the concept of Bitcoin will tell you that it's linked to the way in which the energy is used in producing the line of code, which is more complex each time. All of that is irrelevant, of course, isn't it, Tom? Because for criminals, it's not about an investment. It's about moving the money around. And that really means that even if money is lost, these are people who would pay 80 cents on the dollar just to get clean money out. And the reality is that this technology is highly attractive to criminals, much more so than cash. It's highly portable. It's easy to send. It's very hard to trace. And as a result, it now outstrips cash as the number one facilitator of international proceeds. National Crime Agency estimates the amount of money laundered through the UK, Tom, at around £100 billion.
Wow,
Crypto could make up 80% of that. That figure puts these seizures, and don't get me wrong, the first instinct among professionals working in fraud and financial regulation is probably one of relief that something seems to be happening at an institutional level about money laundering. But the last thing that law enforcement in the UK should be doing at the moment is congratulating itself. And that's because while this is the largest seizure of its kind, and they're right, £180 million, clap, clap, and of course there's £114 million in June. So, that's an improvement on last month. Rather than it being, it's not even the tip of the iceberg. It would be an exaggeration to say it would be the tip of the iceberg in terms of the problem that we have. It probably represents a drop in a very fast and unregulated ocean.
Good to speak to you. Joseph Kotrie-Monson, director of Mary Monson Solicitors on Fleet Street in London, the editor of the book Cybercrime Law and Practice.